said I was coming back, so I want to see if anybody's on. See if anybody comes on tonight. See if I get anybody come through. Thought I'd do a surprise one. Been out today, did a little hiking thing. So I just want to see if anybody coming through. Um, see what we working with. Got some stuff that I'm working on. So I thought I definitely come back tomorrow. Probably make it a whole weekend. I haven't done this in a long time where I do a 3 day thing, but just want to see if anybody coming through. We got the world premiere. Let me see. Do this thing real quick. I can't always get all my tube on. Let's see if I can get stuff going. Let's see what we're working with. If anybody's coming through, feel free to say something. Let me know. It's acting kind of slow. Getting this thing together. Let me do my thing. I need to get to do my thing. I want to have this thing right. So if anybody's on, feel free to say something. Because I see a couple of heads above. So we're working with. Okay, there we go. Got this thing kicking into gear. Get some questions coming up. Let's see. Um, let's see. What's up? Oh, okay. You're gonna be a troll. Okay. I see we got a troll up in here already. I don't do trolls, so I gotta get your butt up out of there. Into that. Let's see. Feel free to ask questions. We're gonna do questions. Okay, so I got the question up right now. I welcome people that actually got something to say, but I don't do trolls. So if you're gonna troll, I can't do nothing with you. I don't know who these turkeys is, and so they want to come on here and be rude. So I got no time for them. But let me get on out here and add some people to this thing. I want to get this thing rolling. so far. Send out the live streams. Tell people to come on through. Okay. What's up? What's up? Told you I was coming back today. And I'm definitely coming tomorrow. So make it a 3-day straight shooter. I got your video. It's coming out. I just finished it about 30 minutes ago about Rob Parker, and I didn't agree with it. But I'll tell you the names I came up with. You'll see my video. If you want the video, I'll put the video for you. Um, the video, I addressed it. So, do you want me to give you my list or do you want to wait for the video? It doesn't make no difference because I did the video already. He's not number one, but he ain't far off. I did the video already. Okay, the video's already done. It's just I just have to when I'm done here, I'm just gonna have to edit, but it's already done. I did the Kyle Shanahan one. So I did the video already. He's not number one. But in the video, I'm gonna tell you that Dan Reeves has got him beat because Dan Reeves coached John Elway and lost 3 Super Bowls. And he coached Michael Vick. So I have to give 0-4 with Dan Reeves with the talent he had. That's the reason why Shanahan ain't number one. He's Marty Schottenheimer, Chuck Knox, Jeff Fisher. So now, if Kyle Shanahan happens to win the Super Bowl, Andy was great. No, he wasn't great before Mahomes. No. He was in the very good, really good. Andy Reid, funny you mentioned Andy Reid. Andy Reid was in the Marty Schottenheimer situation, except he did get the one runner-up Super Bowl. He was like a Marty Schottenheimer, but with one Super Bowl appearance. That's where he was headed towards before he hit payday with Patrick Mahomes. And in case you don't know, yeah, that's the reality. 3-2. Well, what he did is that he figured out how to do time management. He used to suck with running the clock at the end. He didn't do good with the clock. That was my Andy Reid pet peeve. Poor clock management. I remember that game. Was it Kansas City against Indy? And Andrew Luck came back on him, and he blew that game. He always had good quarterbacks. He just didn't finish. He blew that game against New England in the Super Bowl. Poor clock management. They had that Kansas City New England game. He let the clock go down. Sometimes I just look at him with his mind. He didn't figure out how to use the clock right. But once he got Mahomes, clock ain't been no problem. That's a great point. That is video worthy. That's true. And his son wanted to be down too, so that's another story though. I really don't even really put that in that concept, but yeah, you know, he would have loved if McNabb had been the one. because Andy was oh yeah, anytime. Appreciate you for real. Uh, because it was more, but the dynamics that I have respect for him is where he, him he's a good motivator with the, I have appreciation for what he's done. And the dynamics with him and Mahomes is off the chain. I mean, again, I don't really care about award shows, but that ESPY Awards, he went there and got the awards for Mahomes' behalf. I'm thinking, well, that's what 3 rings will do for you. Lord knows that means more steak dinners. And, I mean, you talk about timing and legacy. So, yeah, that's a good call there, Ted. I might consider, I don't know if I would do that, but I'm just saying. Yeah. I watched the respect and the dynamics. It's not this tedious, stoic Belichick Brady thing. This is genuine. So I really, and with the Michael Vick thing was great because Vick had got out of prison and, you know, please hit likes and subscribes. Please hit likes up. I see more people coming in. Thank you very much. The Pharrell Williams Lego movie, I just decided to do that because it's been kind of getting some advertisement. I don't know how y'all feel about it, but do let me know in the comment section about Pharrell Williams and the Lego movie. Is he worthy of a movie being made of him, for one? Do you like a Legos? And do you think more people will do this? Oh, yeah, that is ultimate respect because you can see Belichick doing that for Brady. I never saw Tony Dungy do that for Peyton Manning. Jimmy Johnson, Troy Aikman had a good relationship. I didn't think I'd see Bill Walsh doing that with Joe Montana. Dick Vermeil, Kurt Warner. I'm just saying. And I've been watching football a long time. But then again, the ESPY Awards has been around like it's like 25, 30 years. So it's not, but still, it's just the unwritten rule. So ooh. Ooh. You on fire today, man. You are on fire today. You just gave me good, good video. That's a good video there. Thanks, man. Thank you, Ted. Oh man, that's a good one. That's a good one. That's a good video right there for so many reasons. That's a good one because he got more political with Tomlin, but he had his best run with Tomlin. He won with Cowher, and he had Jerome Bettis and all that, but his notoriety was more with Tomlin, if you ask me. That first Super Bowl with Cowher, he beat Arizona and they lost to Green Bay, but the hype with him was better with Tomlin, ironically. Even though you could make the case that Kyle was more offensive minded to a situation, but that's a good video. I'm not going to do that one right away, but that's in the can. Thank you. Thank you for that. That's one of those videos that's going to be in the can. I'll work on that one. Uh, so that's going to be in the can. But thank you, though. That's an inspiration. Please hit like, subscribe. Please hit like, subscribe, and keep on hitting the views coming in. I will do a standard. This will probably be here for like I think about an hour and a half tonight. I'm coming back tomorrow, so but I definitely. What's up? See you on here earlier, so now we can get to some Q&As. I've been sending out some kind of form of notification, and I got it posted on Facebook, and I also got it on my on here too. So feel free. Yeah, well, but it's tough though. I did the videos earlier, and I give Cleveland their due. They're a feisty team. You right. You were right about the relief pitching. Ain't no Rivera. Ain't no. Yeah, it's a little shaky. Cleveland is a feisty team. Yeah, I'm working on some stuff, so I'm trying to get that thing, working so I can get the messages out. Because I definitely need more viewers. Welcome more viewers. more members, etc. So the more I get, the more I can do live because that's something that's keeping me from doing it because I really want to put on, great quality shows. And of course, we get back to all the topics. But yeah, I'm very excited about that. But I'm giving Cleveland their due. It ain't over yet. 17 shots and they got their butt beat by 60. You excited? You excited? Now, no, and you know what? Who really does? And the one thing I've been watching with the playoffs, I just tell me if I'm wrong, but why does the playoffs in both divisions looks like the Golden State Warriors have just uh that's about right. Why is it like Golden State Warriors has become the norm for baseball? No lead is safe no more. You used to get the ball thrown behind your head if you were still trying to put on runs. That Dodger Mets game was kind of not out of hand. Even with a 8 run lead, that you thought the Dodgers could come back. Mookie Betts is balling. I mean, I'm just saying, Cleveland came back. I mean, there's no security. The runs are crazy. And it's not so much the long ball either. So this postseason has been great. One of the best postseasons I've seen in a long time. I'm very happy. Bronny ain't gonna be no starter. Yeah, and he, come on now. You know. But don't worry, him and JJ Redick, they gonna both be hanging out with plumbers and beauticians and milkmen before long. It'll be a long season if what I'm seeing looks like it's coming to pass. Relief pitching. Relief pitching. That's not really a tough question for me because um, I've seen great relief pitchers. Running for a running game, I seen backs come out of nowhere. Phillies got their butt beat. They got knocked out by the Mets. Mets tore their butt up. Second round. That's what happened. Bryce Harper's behind. The Mets came back on them. The Mets are a dangerous team. This series, if they can go in LA and get it back to New York, anything could happen. I'm not. I mean, let me tell you something. If you want my honest opinion, the Dodgers are the team to beat. They got the firepower. But, but the Mets is dangerous. I mean, Cleveland. I mean, it ain't over yet till it's over. Okay, Ted. Let me put this in English. Has Kansas City had a big running game the last couple of years in postseason? See, and that's the reality. Um, there was a time when it mattered, but relief pitching in baseball, if you get a dominant one, oh, it but I'm not saying running back don't matter, but I'm just saying, he's doing what he's supposed to do. How about a Jim Harbaugh, your butt's on the hot seat? That's what it is. That's why he's doing it. I think they've been in his ear hole about, yo, this now or never. That's what I think. They hitting their stride, but getting Soto was big. They're doing what they're supposed to do. What about like 90s Brady? What about that? What do you mean? What about it? The Yankees don't remind me of the 90s Braves. The only team that I've seen that in recent memory remind me of the 90s Braves was the Astros. The Yankees don't remind me of them. They haven't been that dominant. But if they can get to the show this year and then make another run or two, oh yeah, well, except they didn't count in the postseason in the World Series. That's the only thing that failed them. But they didn't really, you know what? It's funny you say that because they really didn't even need it because they had four dominant pitchers. They had Schmaltz, Glavine, Avery, and Maddox. And then they moved Smoltz and Avery into the bullpen, and Glavine and Maddox stay regular. And they were, they really didn't really need it like that. Ironically, you know. But yeah, originally, why? What's up? Originally, I lived in the hood. I grew up in one of my neighborhood, couple of neighborhoods that would not be too friendly. What makes you ask? Originally, two places I would say. Not all my life. I didn't spend time between different walks of life. Let's just say that. Oh yeah, they did. They did. But they were a different juggernaut back then. But they did win the ring a few years ago. And they look good now. They just I think I think the NL East is dangerous. No. How would you figure? How would you figure? Let me explain something about that. Just forget all that statistical stuff. Dame is not the same as Giannis. He scores a lot of points and does a lot of stuff. Do you look at him in the same sentence? Do you? I mean, and I'm not talking about position. I'm talking about impact. Come on now. And this is a common sense question. I'm not dissing you. It's a fact. Giannis is considered, upper tier. No one looks at Dame like that. Dame is not in the conversation like that. It won't be no disappointment because there ain't no expectation. And plus, they got Doc Rivers as a coach. Okay. No, he's not. Andrew Jones was bad. He was bad. He was bad. He could hit. He had all the tangibles. Uh, who's as good as Murray? Number two. Claus has been getting shelled. Well, they got to finish up Cleveland, and the Dodgers got to finish up the Mets. I will be honest with you. Can I be honest? Because I keep it 100. In my team or no team, the Dodgers should win the World Series. They are the best team I've seen. Well, not before Barry Bonds. You asking me is Dame as good as Jamal Murray? Is that the question, Jay Will? Is he as good as Jamal Murray? Please continue hit those likes up too, by the way. You coming in here, please hit them likes up. Yeah, he was. He talked a lot of Yang too. His wife used to be involved with R. Kelly. That's another video, another story. And that was part of that whole thing. But she's a minister saved. It's a long story. No. And let me tell you, good question, Jay Will. And Ted will help you out on this one. I can bust a freestyle if I got to. Let me tell you something. Dame's a better pure scorer than Murray. And if you were to go by stat and all that, yeah. But he asking me as far as a number two, Murray got him beaten. See, this is a good question that you ask. Dame stat wise is like above Murray. However, for the team concept, Murray is above Dame. Does that make sense? Because if you put Jamal Murray as a second option, you got a way better chance to win. Ted can either say yeah or no. If you agree with me on that, give me a one. If you disagree, give me a two. Because Murray compliments Jokic. He would compliment Giannis. I can't say the same about Dame. Dame don't play no defense, and Dame is kind of like a wandering guy. He's one of those guys that, yeah, he gets the numbers, but they don't count for nothing. They don't matter for nothing. He had why am I not thinking? Because he went to the Spurs and then he went to the Nets. You know what I'm talking about. He had him as a Aldridge, Lamarcus. Did it work? No. Let me throw this one at you. You want to go here? Because I do basketball freestyle. Here we go. Dame's a better pure scoring machine than Brandon Roy, but I was more worried about Brandon Roy. I'm not worried about Dame. And Dame had his one chance in 2019 when Steph and them were a bit slow. And they had 4 games. They were up all 4 games, fourth quarter. And who beat they butt? Draymond Green. Outplayed guard than Dame. Outguarded. I'm not sold on Dame as a second option. He has never showed me that because he ain't a first option. And I don't buy him as a second. He's just a guy who scores a lot of points, he's everything that Bradley Beal would wishes he was, or what Gilbert Arenas. I mean, Dame's a great scorer. And if that's your criteria for him being one of the 75 greatest players, more power to you. Asking me would I want him as a co-star? Heck no, I ain't seen nothing that would tell me because he didn't do nothing last year. And he really didn't want to go to Milwaukee. His brother wasn't memorable. His brother wasn't that good. In fact, I don't know. I think his brother might be just a tad bit better than Bronny James. We can make a debate. We can debate that. He wasn't that good. He got a token ring with the Lakers too. So anyway, good question though. So Free Israel got me as a rapper. Uh, I can bust some styles. I bust some. I bust a few here and there. Let's see. Dresser could get it done as a one option because he's the one. You can have rings if you play long enough and you stand around long enough. I'm not sold on his brother though. No one talks about Giannis' brother though. No, Clyde wasn't a number one option. But the problem in Portland is they never had a center though. Duckworth wasn't the dude, and they did had Sabonis. I think they would have won. I think Drexler was a very talented dude. Yeah, he won with Hakeem. I'd say Hakeem and Jokic are well. Yeah, I'd say that. I'd say that. If you give Bronny about a month and you let him score a point a game, I think he got a chance. So 31 days in a month. So if he can get 1 point every day, he got a chance. He got a chance. He got a chance. The problem with Giannis is that, well, see, Hakeem was a better skill talent, and Jokic has got crazy skills. Giannis ain't really he's talented. He's talented, but the skill level is a little bit different. That's a higher. But if Giannis was to go and win another ring, then we're talking a different because then his play is dominant. But he ain't really came to that 2021 again. We want to see. Do I want to see Bronny succeed? I want to see him succeed in life as a man with a healthy heart and a livelihood. I want to see him succeed in the NBA. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. It's worse than Caitlin Clark, and that's saying something. And she's better than him, but she's not all that. But she's better than him without trying. His approach, I told you, he stutters too much. He's kind of froze with his shot. And I just don't I don't his defensive liability. If he don't catch you on that back end, blocks from behind, run you down. But when he gets to deal with high screens, picks and rolls, he gonna get tangled up. The kid ain't ready. He need 2 years in the G League. Anybody with a brain can see he needs at least a couple years in the G League. And maybe you bring him up off the bench as the 12th, 10th or 12th man and work him in. But there's no way if he's got to go against guys like Shea Alexander every night, he gonna get roasted. Okay, bodies are gonna go right by him, chicken wing him all the time. He gonna get popped. He looks like an actor in a movie that's working with the main cast. That's what it looks like. It looks like a Hollywood movie. It don't look real and authentic. So it might not be popular to say, but that's how I feel. I'm not buying it. But as a man, I want him to live a long life. He's young. He got another chance with life. He's healthy. That's more important. But this basketball thing, it ain't believable. It ain't believable. But you entitled to think what you want. We can debate it, but you're gonna be wrong though. He's not believable. He just not. He need too much work. Come on now, give me some questions. Now, if you're on here, let's get into it. Let's get into it. Please hit like, subscribe, welcome thoughts, welcome thoughts. I got 9 so far, and 9 people all saying they're not interested in Pharrell's movie. Wow. Where everybody go? Come on now. Yeah, because you get to play. So did Kobe Carl, George Carl's son, and he stunk with the Lakers. That don't mean nothing. They watch you. And the sad part is that we're in a day and time because if you can shoot a little bit, you can play a little bit. But when they start running up on you and they start plugging the ball and they put a body on you, you remember what was it LeVar uh remember when Ball was with the Lakers and Patrick Beverly put that hip on him, pressed him backcourt front. Imagine if that happens to Bronny James. Get a Patrick Beverly put a hip on him. I mean, that's just the cold reality, you know. I don't even buy this is that they say it's more about a photo op than it is about actual playing. That's how I look at this. I don't buy this as something authentic. Doesn't come across authentic to me. Seems to me like this is a Photoshop to say, yeah, my son played and let him be out there and run around and do his thing. But there is no way they're believing that this is real. Originally, yeah. Originally. Yeah, he's back. He's back, but he's people are forgetting him. He's an old 25. Old 25. Because he was drafted a few years ago and you don't even care. He like old man. His brother LaMelo got some handles with the Hornets, but who does he play for? Yeah, I will give their dad props for getting them both to the NBA, but at what cost? At what cost? Because they either got some talent, but they're playing for some sorry excuse teams that are ping pong material. So you stat pad and yeah, you get an NBA pension. You play long enough, you in it, but you ain't doing nothing. Injury prone and whack team prone is not what you really sign up for. Lonzo is actually got good handles. He got good rap skills too. Problem is that the pressure was put on him. Magic drafted number one by the Lakers to put the pressure on him, and he wasn't cut out for it. He didn't have a shot, and he came off like a triple junior whopper Jason Kidd with no outside shot. So yeah, yeah, we talked about that already. In fact, I did a video about that. It's a good, solid pickup for them as another option. They've got to still figure out how to run the ball more though. The problem they ran into is that that Jets game, they've been getting exposed by but that's what Stephon Diggs was talking about. They were so cheap to not get another option for Diggs. So now they finally going and get something that they should have been done already. They need that for against Kansas City. That's what that's about. They plotting and planning. And they in these games, and they're making every game, they're not generating enough offense. I don't know what took them so long to wake up. They're not generating enough offense. You know, they got spanked by Baltimore and they lost to Houston. It shouldn't even been that close. And then they struggle with the Jets. So they got to get some firepower. Keep on hitting it like more people coming in. Feel free. We're talking about a little bit of everything tonight. So let's keep it rolling. Let's keep it rolling. But I like Lonzo. I mean, Lonzo is cool. I disagree with him about football takes. He always talks about how he don't really play the game. No, he don't understand. First of all, they 4-2. Second of all, if you had Russell Wilson's resume and Russell Wilson's resume and Russell Wilson's resume, how come he wasn't starting from the get up? How do you put in a guy at quarterback who was flimsy flossy, who has talent, but was flimsy flossy with a Chicago Bears team that didn't know anything about no offense, to a guy who has a resume like Russell Wilson, who's a Hall of Famer, and he don't get to start? Make it make sense. So I don't know what essay was he talking about because he don't know what he's talking about with football. He always tries to be a contrarian, and it's another time when he fell flat on his face. Yeah, Justin Fields should keep on playing. They don't have a receiver. That's their problem. They're about one scoop against Dallas from being 5-1. And Russell Wilson, this is going to be his make or break this game. If he looks like he's something, he'll keep on playing. If he stinks it up, they're going to get yanked. I think that Sean Payton took his hood from him when he chewed him out last year. I think Sierra done took his hood from him and Pete Carroll got the best of the hood from him. I don't see nothing there with him because he wasn't memorable in Denver at all. He was just riding off of what he had before. You know, he could put some numbers up, but the fact is that Justin Fields got the start should tell you all you need to know, especially when you got that resume. That resume. You got a resume, and I got a guy who's a young quarterback that's kind of Let me go. Okay, LeBron ain't in it. Curry's at the Jokic, Luca, Giannis, Embiid, SGA. That's 5. Jason Tatum, that's 6. Steph Curry, that's about 7. Uh, can make a case for Jalen Brown. Could say he's in there. Hmm. I want to say, do I want to say De'Aaron Fox or do I want to say Sabonis? He ain't in no top 10. His stats is that he ain't no top 10 because AD would be in before him, and I can't neither one of them. Stop. Just stop, 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 stop. Anthony Edwards, Ant. Who else? What I got? So that's about 8 right there. I guess Devin Booker by default probably would be lower in there. Uh, oh, we forget LeBron, and then what about old boy from the Knicks? You know what I'm talking about. Come on now, help me out. He's top 10 easily. Yeah, come on now. He's in repeat consideration. Come on now. Um, why don't never ever say his name? He's in there. He's in there right after Tatum. So Brunson, that's right. So let me do this again. So Jokic, Luca, Giannis, SGA, Embiid, Tatum, Brunson. That's 7. Ant. That's 8. See, I got 8 right there. So how you gonna come at me crazy when I can name 8 off the top before I'd even consider Victor Wimb, if he comes up, he got a chance. Wimby got a chance. He got a chance. It's close. Victor Wimby got a chance. This year's gonna be interesting. Um, who else can I pick on? Hmm. Because see, yeah, I'm not, and oh yeah, and I mentioned Curry, so that's about 9 right. That's 9 right there. Step 9. So yeah, yeah. And I think I didn't say Jalen Brown, but yeah, that's 9 right there. That's 9. Uh he's in the 11 to 15 pile, him and AD. I say 11 to 15. But see, this is what you gotta understand, Laker fan. Not really. Not really, because it's the stats. It's not the wins. What you're excited about is stats. You're not excited about the dubs. Now let me break your heart once and for all. They not a top 4 team in the West. And if you ain't top 4, you ain't nothing. You third tier. 7, 8, 9, you third tier. Playing tournament, oh. So no, stop all this. Oh well, if he scores 29 and 9. No, you're not a chip team. They still need another 2 pieces. They keep going on like they going to KFC and they need more pieces for their bucket. Stop with all this, oh, well, no, 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 no. They don't have what he need to cover his behind. And I'm gonna say this for the LeBron holics out here. Well, you're entitled to what you want to tell you, but I'm gonna tell you like this. He's really a third tier cat at this stage that got to play like a second that by default has to be a first. He should be the third option at this stage. He should not be the first, and he shouldn't really be the second. But because Anthony Davis is so soft, Phil don't want no parts of him, and he don't want no parts of Phil. You know that, right? Phil would not put up with his diva ways. And LeBron wouldn't want what Phil would want to do. Phil would make Anthony Davis the focal point, okay? And they would recreate the guard position, not this mess that they do with AK, or Austin Reed. No, that mess would not be started. Telling you, you don't know Phil Jackson that well. You know, Mm-mm. He'd strip it down. Bronny James would come off the bench if he did play. He'd be like the ninth, 10th guy. Depends on who's the guard. I used to make him say, used to. If he had, he would have been one of the best players in it had he, but it depends on who the guard is, depends on who the center, it depends on a few factors though. Depends on who the players are. I think he could have thrived in it. I know he could have because him and D Wade were kind of doing that with Miami. They utilized a two-man with Bosch rotation where that was playoff all of that. So I think during that era, that would have been the one. That ain't saying nothing. Well, no, I don't know because Shaquille O'Neal might have an argument with you. Shaq got 2 platinum albums and gold records, so I think you might wanna look at that. Yeah, yeah. Shaq was bigger in basketball, and he had a rap career, and with Fruit Snick and said, "Thank you, please." But Master P dabbled. I know what you're trying to say, and then you can make a case for Dame Lillard because Dollar Dame, he got a nice production game, and so did Chris Webber. Mhm. Got 10 poll questions and nobody wants to see Pharrell's movie. This is funny. Pharrell getting that big old Easter egg. But anyway, yeah, LeBron would have been nice in the triangle. It would have been nice, but Phil would have manipulated him to the low post though. He wouldn't have him shooting fadeaways. He wasn't no pure shooter. So all right now. Let's get some more likes and clicks up in here. Appreciate everybody coming through. Feel free to ask questions. I'm taking on different types of questions. And again, looking forward to hearing from people. So feel free to come on in. I got 10 poll. I like that 10 poll so far for real. For real. Come on now. Don't go to sleep on me now. This is why when I bring live, I want people to ask questions and participate and feel free because this is what'll keep me coming back. If I don't see the reactions, then I gotta go back to my cocoon. So I welcome it. So please feel free to ask questions. And please continue to hit the like, hit the membership, hit the subscribe too. I know people got opinions and what have you, so feel free. We looking forward to having you in here on this Saturday. Hope you're having a nice, great day out there, wherever you are in the world. Hope it's going good for you. Let's see what we got. See what we got. Ooh. Do you see yeah, I think so. I don't think they will let him pitch anymore. I think that and him being a DH is even scarier. I mean, this guy, yeah, because I think he has to give up so much and it's requires so much. And then the minute he was pitching, he had to do like middle relief. But again, what the Angels did and what the Dodgers are doing for him is two different entities. All he has to do is come up big with the Dodgers, and it'll pay dividends. The Angels needed him to hit, catch, run, field, the whole nine. The Dodgers are just saying, "Hey, do what you do best." So that's what's up. He was good. He was legit. He was legit. He was very legit. Like I said before, he's something else. If he goes off and finishes up this year, it'll be one of the greatest going to a new team and having the kind of year he had that I've ever seen in baseball, maybe in all the sports, because you got to remember 50-50 club to be dominant in the postseason and then to go and win a ring and be dominant. I mean, he's having an historical great year. He's an incredible talent. Incredible. He made the right call by going to Dodger Blue. I can't even find fault with him. Not at all. That's a bad dude. That cat is bad. Well, I mean, communities love different things. Well, having to have friends from said community, big on basketball too, big on football too. It's just that baseball, as far as a sport, that was so big because it was ingrained early on, and a lot of athletes went towards it. But it just depends on the sport. But uh, baseball was top dog back in the day, though. If you of a certain age and era, it was of a certain. So I used to love it. Black folks loved it too back in the day. Baseball was a great was it may be hard for you if you're a certain age and didn't get to see it because you ain't get to see the totality of what baseball once meant. The NBA wasn't the way it was, and NFL got better, got bigger, bigger. Yeah, well, because baseball was that first sport that meant livelihood around the world. That's what it was. Baseball was huge. hmm Baseball was huge. You know that, and it was sold as such. Plus, it's a mental contact. Yeah, I remember. I remember that night back in '90. I remember that night very well. Cause a buddy of mine, we down the street, called me up, and we was tripping. Called me up on the phone. That's when you used to call on the phone. You didn't have uh, cell phones and computers and what we end up having. Back in the day, you had to put your fingers on the phone. Say, "Did you just see that? Did you?" That was big news. I can still remember my buddy down the street yelling through the phone. That was that big. No, it's not. No, it's not. He went to Japan because that's where the money was. Do you know how big the Tokyo Dome is? Have you ever seen the Tokyo Dome? A lot of American entertainers have played that dome. I remember that particular year, Prince had put on a show there. Michael Jackson played it. Madonna played it. I mean, it's huge. There is big money, big money. And if you're an American entertainer, athlete, that's big money. So you might want to research that one. That was where the money was at. Except his problem was he was partying that night. Do you know how much the gate is for that? Do you know how much they can charge tickets for that even back in '90? Come on now. You smart, do the math. That was huge. That was huge. So you can imagine what that was like. That's why they have it in places like that because you can triple the amount. Not to mention Showtime with the pay-per-view and all that. It was huge. So, but it really wasn't that far off though. Mhm. He didn't regret it. Why would he regret it? He just wasn't prepared for the fight. You can fight on Mars. I'm gonna tell you like this: he fought Razor Ruddock, and he started to slip. He started slipping. I saw him starting to slip about 90. So when he lost to Buster Douglas before he fought Buster, he started to look kind of like he was getting kind of, I don't want to say long in the tooth, but his style wasn't as dominant. I don't think he was the same fighter when he worked with Don King. I think that his discipline and his he started to regress. I do. The one with him and Gus D'Amato when he came out was cold and raw. The 85 through 88 Tyson, even part of 89, he was raw. But after that, he became kind of cliche. And then he started to, his guard kind of let down. I just don't think he trained really well for that fight. And Buster hit a combo on him. He was macking, he was macking cheesing. But I just don't think that he took it as seriously because the thing that Dustin Douglas did is that he went later rounds with him. That's always been the key with Mike Tyson. If you can make it past the fourth round, you got a chance. You got a chance. And that was one of the things because if he hit your pressure point, hit your temple, he knocked you out. But if you could go long distance with him and make him actually have to fight and have to go toe, that's not his strength. So that was his blueprint for a lot of his success. Yeah. Yeah. That's what I heard too. Then Buster got all fat and greasy and got knocked on his belly against Holyfield and lost the belt. And he didn't hold it too long. But it was a big time upset. I mean, it was Buster Douglas beating Tyson was like Leon Spinks beating Muhammad Ali. It was a big time upset. This is probably the bigger though, obviously, because of how old Tyson was, you know. But he fought a good fight. He squared with him, he stayed with him, he jabbed with him, you know. And boxing, sometimes it's just the right opponent comes at the right time. That's all it is. So he, you know, so but I remember that night very well. Sometimes it seems like a lifetime ago when it does, and then sometimes it seems like yesterday. It's very brutal, but it's also very poetic. It's life or death, but then it's also very poetic because then it requires a certain type of intelligence and um aptitude. Now nobody cares no more, and it got watered down too because they started giving up these made up titles. So it's not the same as it was. There's still some great fights out there, but it's just not the way it was because they had the IBF champion and WF champion and eyesight heavyweight. It just became watered down. When I think MMA took over, I do think boxing could make it, but you got to have a compelling figure. That's what you got to have. And if you don't have a compelling figure, that's another thing that works against it. I wonder if head injuries. What do you mean? No, because they took a lot of concussions. They took a pounding. It's a physical, brutal sport. And cats, that's making a livelihood where you got to take it and give it. It can would take its toll. So it's, and plus a lot of those cats don't end up saving their money. You gotta remember something. And cats come out of different situations to get $10 million and all the drugs and the women and the cars and the clothes and the houses, and then you get old. And then you got to trade that in and then what you got to show for it. So some of these cats ain't taken care of. I'm glad to see Mike Tyson walking now. Bless his soul. And he looks good right now. Because a lot of cats don't have it like that, especially if they went through what he went through. And a lot of his stuff was self inflicted too. So glad he's doing all right though. Okay, let's get some questions in here. I see some more faces than the views. Let's get some questions going. I need some commentary. If I don't get some strong comments, get some commentary, I'm gonna call it off in 10 minutes. So I'm really hoping that I get more people coming through and feel free to ask questions and and welcome you in. And don't be a stranger. I see some lurkers, but there's some comments. It depends on what Chris Paul can do, what their defense can do, what their bench can do. If he does win 30 games, he got a chance to be a playing tournament team. They're gonna be. He looks better though. I seen him shooting some threes. He's got putting the ball on the floor. He looks better. He looks better. I can't say how far he can go. It depends on what kind of interior they got. You know, you're gonna know the first 25 games of the season with them. I know that if I'm Popovich, I'm rubbing my toes together because this cat turns out to be good. I look like a gold standard. Popovich will look like the Red Auerbach of his time if he can get something out of Wemby before it gets too late. Because think about it. You won with Robinson, Duncan, Parker, Ginobili, and all that. Kawhi Leonard. Now you bring on the Victor Wemby. That'd be unheard of what he could do. So Pop got a lot at stake with this. And then it depends on what kind of pieces they put around him. So we'll see. But if that outside shot is truth and he getting inside, and of course they got, their defense and their plan, they could be a problem. Could be a problem. You know, depends on what kind of pieces he got. I'll put it to you like this. If I put Victor Wemby right now with the Houston Rockets, what Udoka's got with the Rockets down there, that team would be a top 6 team out the West. Because I think that's the one thing that you know, what I've seen. So, but anyway. So let's see if we're gonna get some more people to come through tonight. I'm going to give it a few minutes if I don't. That's a great question. Yeah, it's got a chance to be. And it's unfortunate. He done sunk and gotten fat without getting fat. I don't see no way around it. Cause he just really it's bad. And the sad part is that Deshaun Watson hasn't been seen since 2019 when he was battling Patrick Mahomes AFC Championship game. When they were up, by the way, that guy is gone. That guy who broke out of that tackle against the Buffalo Bills and beat Josh Allen, the Bills, and came up big is gone. That guy that Debo was going on about was going to be the Michael Jordan of quarterbacks. That guy is gone. That guy is gone. D Watt is be gone. And it's got a chance, but it's only fitting because Cleveland and quarterbacks, that's. I'm liking the Lions because I think that Sam Darnold gonna have a lot of pressure on him. And he looked very vulnerable against a flawed Jets defense. He took some shots. So the Lions can get at him and force turnovers. But I will say this, if Minnesota beats Detroit, then Minnesota is probably the top 2 team in the NFC, bar none. They'll be 1 or 2. That's how high this game is for them. They got to make a statement. For Detroit, I think they're arguably the best team going in the NFC right now. So Minnesota needs to make a statement. Sam Darnold needs to come up big. He got to come up big. But I like the Lions right now. I think the Lions are probably the best team in the NFC I've seen. But I think everybody pretty much out that division is scary. The Lions, the Vikings, the Packers, the Bears, except the Bears on the come up, but the 3, they could be legit. Ted will like that, but it's the facts. Ted's gonna like that because the Packers are in it. Yeah. Um 49 is by default because of who they are, but they gotta bring it. And then whoever comes out the NFC East, But Washington looks decent, but we're gonna see if that's just flash in the pan because they don't play no defense. That's my only knock there. But the NFC North, that's the division. So that's a heavyweight fight right there. So that's my answer about Detroit, Minnesota. So okay, come on with some more questions before because I'm gonna see if anybody's gonna talk. Ted disappeared on me. But respect the man. It's a low key kind of day though. There's a lot going on. I could say clowning, but he only because he had that one play in college. He's kind of like the Odell Beckham Jr. Guy who had an incredible play, and then his career. And he had some moments. He had some moments, but the hype with him was way bigger. So I say by default because of that. That's what I'd say. But they both been. But again, when you get to the next level, you gotta be prepared. You gotta put the work in, and some of these cats get caught a step or two off, and then they start to bleed the press clippings and the hype, and then you end up being moved around, and you just stat padding, and you're not even stat padding for reasons that are legit. So, uh, it's close. I think he'll get in, but it's almost like he's kind of gotten forgotten. But I think he'll get in. I said it was close, but I think they'll let him in. Getting that Super Bowl ring helped him out, but he did kind of forgotten though. Just the way you snuck him on that like a track. That's kind of like how he's kind of, you know. So I'll say that for Sue. I'll give him that. All right, now keep on coming through. More people coming through. See what kind of questions we getting. See if I got anything else coming through. And I'll be back again tomorrow. Now, the only thing is, again, because if I don't get a lot of questions submitted or people coming through, I tend to cut the live stream down because I need participation, please. If you want to come through, feel free. Donations, questions, inquiries, membership, whatever you want to do, feel free. Just welcome the participation. So, all right. If I don't hear anything next couple of minutes, though, I'm gonna call it a night though, because I want to see if somebody got any more questions. Feel free. Do appreciate the 10 votes for this Pharrell Williams thing. First time I've ever seen a complete shutout though. It's funny. All said no. I've never had that happen before. I said telling you for real, guess people ain't feeling your movie. Mm. Okay. I was having a debate. I thought Roger Craig was better. He was the first to do 1,000 running, 1,000 receiving. He was a blocker, and the 49ers weren't that stacked. What do you mean a better team? They had a great defense. They weren't stacked with receivers. He won before Jerry Rice was there, before John Taylor was there. Russ Francis and Freddie Solomon were the receivers, and Dwight Clark. They weren't exactly the poster kids of dominant offensive playmakers. Because I go back in that particular year when he was around, the Chargers had a better offensive core. You had James Brooks, you had I want to say Lionel Mitchum, but you had John Jefferson, Charlie Joyner, Kellen Winslow Sr. So they didn't even have the best. That's not a fair to say because he still held his own. He did something first. Who was Shady McCoy's quarterback when he was quarterbacking? Who playing? Do tell me. And then I will answer this question in that way too. Roger Craig was 1,000-yard running back and out of the backfield receiver when it was unfashionable. And he they were a great team, but that should not work against him who your quarterback is. If you're durable and versatile, how does it work? How's that work on work against you? Like if you like Marshall Falk, you like Marshall Falk, great or not. Just like Thurman Thomas. Actually, a great running back helps out a quarterback more, usually. But then again, there are exceptions. Emmitt Smith is considered better than Troy Aikman. So I got to believe John Riggins is considered better than any quarterback that Washington had at that time when he was playing there. So, yeah, but they were a successful team. You know, they had some success. They might have been dominant, but they had some success. That's got to do. They still were a competitive team. But that's you got to have a criteria to say that you think he was better based on not based on who the quarterback was. If you understand what I'm saying, you have to be legit as a running back to make your quarterback better. You know what I'm saying? That's why the 1-2 punch of Derrick Henry and Mahomes look so good right now. And they don't even utilize Derrick Henry properly near enough. Anyway, I'm going with Roger Craig. And I seen Shady, and I like Shady. I think Shady's knock is he played with a few too many teams. And he ends up kind of like gets kind of lost. Um, mm, I don't want to say he stat padded, but he kind of there was something that kind of fell off with him. We almost kind of forget, but he wasn't that memorable in a way. But Roger Craig's been downgraded, so that's the sad part. Okay, I need some more folks to come on through because I'm gonna see if we got anything going on, like the questions about dried up. Okay, so that's like a draw, right? But let me say this to you: it was tougher in the '80s than it was in the 2010s. Because the '80s, you had Earl Campbell's a part of it, Marcus Allen, Billy Sims, William Andrews. You had backs that were putting up 1,000+ yards. Craig was doing it two ways at that time, so that says a lot. McCoy was big. I mean, the 2010s were, you had great talent, but Roger Craig just hit a little bit different though. His meant more. Asking me who was better for the team, I'm going Roger Craig because he was instrumental in helping them win. Shady wasn't that dude. Shady was what I call him. And was Shady McCoy better than Ricky Waters? Uh, so And Roger Craig was doing what Debo Samuels does today, except out the backfield. Think about that. They put Debo at wide out, block, and run back. Roger Craig was doing all in the backfield. So again, but it's all subjective and how you look at it, though. Frank Gore, he is one of the top 5 or 6 from stats. Frank Gore was a power runner and a guy that underrated, underappreciated. He just didn't have no quarterbacks in the system when he was bringing it. He was bad. He's one of the most unsung dudes. AP is one for who? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? You can speak for yourself. I don't have no AP as my number one. I'd say for his generation, I say last 15, 20 years, you know, but I don't have him like in my all time. But in the last 15 years or so, I can make a case for him. Anyway, okay. Okay, looks like it done gone kind of slow again. Second City, here's some people coming through. What are facts? What are facts? What are facts? That ain't saying nothing. That's not saying nothing. No one's gonna argue that one. Oh, okay, okay. I wonder where you were because I get ready because it was getting slow and dead in here, and I gotta have people in commentary if I'm gonna stick on. Adrian Peterson um is great for his era, but I don't have him like again. Depends when you say him one. What are we talking one as? This is gonna be a troll. I look, I got a troll coming through. Trolling, trolling. That's a smart move. That may save his career because he dying in LA. Matthew Statpad can't do nothing. Sean McVay, who would be considered overrated, but they got a ring. No one rides McVay. Notice that. The California Sunshine Beach kid, the Brad Pitt of head coaches, no one says nothing. He got that ring. His 2 Super Bowl pins got that ring. But what has happened to the Rams? They can't finish games. They implode. They should be a bit better than they are. They keep bringing up the what's that kid that was the rookie for them last year? They keep having nice rooks, but Cup would be a strong. That's all it needs. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. And I keep hearing about how great McVay, the only difference, McVay got that ring. That's what he's got over. It's not just him, though. Their play calling is not that good. They've blown games. I watched them. McVay, their play calling has been off. Well, he's older now. You got to remember, and he got fat after that Super Bowl. I mean, come on now. You win a ring, you don't really have to owe nothing, and he's got stats. And he got the 15 kids and all that. So I mean, come on, he ain't got to do nothing else. But I think Cup to KC would be scary. He actually would be a good fit. Well, thank you. I just didn't like he didn't really go in on Jerry Jones like he could have. He kind of let off the hook. They, I told you, Meathead is done. Dak is overpaid. They have no running game. The receivers run bad routes, which is fact, which you pointed out. They have no time. They have no script. They look like it's a wasteland. It's pretty bad. I know what he's getting at because there's no discipline. But you see, that starts with the coach, you know. So they got no one to blame but themselves. They look bad. They look brutal. So I'm not feeling for Dallas at all. It could be a long year if you're a Cowboy fan. 3-3 can seem like an eternity. He's done. He's done. Meathead is done. Cause I don't see no 12-4. You mean to tell me they'd have to go what 11-1 the rest of the way? Yeah, good luck with that. That big old butterball is done. Meathead is cooked. They need to make a move on defense. They need to shore up the line. They're getting beat too much on the gap. They can't stop the run. They got to do something about that. They have to make one more move if they want to be a true contender. Because I hate to say it, but Nick Wright is right on that one. Nick Wrong used to be wrong, but he right about the Bills because it's too predictable. And they got a bachelor pad division. They're gonna win by default. They got no competition, and it's why they get lax. I want Mac. I would rather have Mac, but we'll see. But you're right. They do need one more piece. They got to make a statement because I think that's the only thing that could save McDermott's job, as far as I'm concerned. Got to make a move. And that's the difference. That's why they don't win. So funny story that I had some dude that was talking about the Cleveland Yankee series, and I made a comment in the comment section. He said, "Oh, y'all buy everything." I said, "What are you talking about?" I said, "The Yankees ain't won nothing in 15 years. What you mean buying stuff?" I said, "The Dodgers are the team that's been buying people." I said, "Once you take Aaron Judge out of the equation, who on the Yankees is seeing Shohei Ohtani financially?" People be stuck in this old relic mindset that you got to be cheap. And the thing about it is, you're renting and leasing anyway. NFL is lease big time. There are no deals. You get the pieces that complement what you're doing. That's why Kansas City wins. They're not. They get the pieces that complement. When you know that, you don't say nothing dumb. So they need another receiver. They need another receiver. They need a playmaker. I think their defense is straight. Um, they just need another play. They need another receiver. That's all. They get a receiver and what I call a complementary uh, part. But Mahomes figured it out, and they'd already beat the teams they had to beat. They didn't beat Baltimore and they beat Cincinnati, and they got to play us. So if they've been who they supposed to beat, they figure out a way, and they're gonna own the division again. So as long as they play smart, they're straight. You know, Kansas City is Kansas City. Well, I don't mess with their channels, and he's not getting it easier than Jackson. How's he getting it easier? I go to different sites too, by the way. And I read they top 10 quarterbacks. One site had him at number 9 all time. I watched Stephen A. Smith, and when he was trying to talk about Dak Prescott, he said, you got to be like Brady and Manning and even Aaron Rodgers. I'm like, what about Patrick Mahomes? How do you not mention a man that's got 3 championships, 3 Super Bowl MVPs, and 2-time league MVP? Make it make sense. A guy who camps out in January doesn't know anything less than late January for his career. Make that make sense. See, the disrespect is real. How's he catching it easy? Lamar got a coach who don't know what he's doing, and they blow a lot of leads. And then they got to get better in the postseason. That's my knock there. And then Lamar got it. They got to make sure they stay away from turnovers and doing stuff. And neither one of them have had it easy. Neither one of them. Where has it been easy for either one of them? Please do tell. People like CJ Stroud will benefit from this. Dak Prescott benefits from it if you must know because he don't win nothing. You know, I can tell you who benefits from it. Ain't no because when you start winning jewelry and MVPs and you black, they got they well, who getting it easy? Mahomes is stepping on some big shoes. I don't know what they be talking about. You know, we took him in the conversation with Brady and Montana. They ain't ready for that. Lamar Jackson winning back to back and winning 2 MVPs in 5 years. With rare company. What big games? You got like 3. What you talking about big games? You got 3 or 4. Ain't no big games. Detroit, Minnesota's probably like that, and then I guess, give me 2 others that are rivaling that. That's the big one. I'm more curious about that one probably. All right. I'm gonna be on for 14 more minutes, 13 more minutes, because I'll be on for an hour and a half. So 13 more. And of course I'm coming back tomorrow, but I got 13 more minutes. But let's keep this. If you on here, please ask questions, hit the like, subscribe. Come on. Yeah, we know he is. We know. We know. He just doing what he be doing. He ain't different, doing nothing different. How's he a different bully than he was 30 plus years ago? They ran Tex Graham and Tom Landry out of the stadium. Ran Jimmy Johnson out. Barry Switzer out. You know. Yeah, for game day. I'll be ready for it. That's not going to be an easy game because Tennessee, well, it should be. Will Leaving is one of the worst quarterbacks in the NFL. But if our defense lets them stay, one thing about it, because if Tennessee had a halfway decent quarterback, they could be a little dangerous. They've been in some of them games. It's just that he sucks at quarterback. That's the problem. They've been in some of those games. He just stinks though. But I don't ain't no game easy when you struggling on you don't do what you're supposed to. See, that's the problem. And we gotta make him turn over like he likes to, because he's good for 2 or 3 turnovers. So, you know. I've been watching him. And they've been in a few of those, but he stinks though. But that's what Tennessee gets though. They got rid of their meathead coach, and they got rid of Derrick Henry, and then what they got. So, and DeAndre Hopkins over there dying over there. What you see, easier said than done. He likes to play superhero. He likes to go 1 against 10. That's coaching. Coach don't say nothing. Allow that stuff to manifest. That's why no one's taking them serious. Now, Amari Cooper's a big move, but you still got to stop the ground. They haven't really looked that good. They've been beat up on tomato can teams. but they haven't looked that good, and they struggled with the Jets. I'm gonna tell you right now, if Aaron Rodgers about for 5 years younger, they lose that game last Monday. It's just that Aaron is old. Because aside from that haymaker, he was picking at him, but he can't finish. That's the reason they got going for him. He hasn't been turning the ball over as much this year, but they're not putting the ball out there. So they're trying to play a different strategic move, but it doesn't complement him either. That's not his MO. But he does have a tendency to try to force the issue, and he gets caught, you know. Because they don't simplify their offense. They don't stick to the ground. They don't simplify the game. That's the problem they run into. And then they get caught, well, he gets caught trying to play hero ball. So, yeah, he's going to stretch the field, and they got to utilize James Cook more. They got to understand about time of possession. They should have been chewing up some clock against the Jets and gave them opportunities. And, you know, like I said before, I don't like how they do stuff that they run. They make everything all long-winded, and that's one of the reasons why they're in the predicament they're in. You know, so we'll see. Ain't no gimme games though when you play like they play. Because even though they got Amari, they still got a defense that's got holes in it. So we'll see. And they're a lucky 4-2 team. Plus, the division is so putrid. So that's what they got going for them. You know, so just chips and dips. Like if I have like some, I got some healthy basic tortilla and peanut butter and jelly and some popcorn with bottles of water. That's about it. Uh, Nachos type of stuff. That's what I used to do. You know, nothing too. You know, yeah. That's what I was. What about yourself? How about yourself? I don't do it traditionally, so you know, sandwiches and chip dip type of thing. When back in the day when I used to go out to the sports football bar, we used to eat more elaborate with celery and when I eat meat and all that, wings and all that stuff back then. And I'm booked with fries and eat all kinds of stuff. That was a different time. That was the old way. But when I started watching all the games at home, just real light stuff, you know. Some games I didn't eat nothing. I just sit there with a bottle of water because depends on who's playing. If it was a boring butt game, I ain't wasting my food on no boring butt game. So depends on what the game and who it is. But I had Super Bowl meals, you know. But what about yourself though? See more views coming in, so please hit the like and feel free to contribute. Welcome people coming through. Glad to have good, you know, seeing people eyeballing. So feel free. Give me some comments, please, please, please. Like James Brown said. The Pharrell thing cracked me up though, but I will definitely come back tomorrow. So had some people peeking in. Okay. Looking forward to some comments. No. How's he overrated? The man is 3-2 in the Super Bowl. How is it? He he won 3 rings in the last 5 years. That's hardly over. No. What would make you say that? What would make you say that? He got three. You understand 3 rings? 3 rings, you're at the table. He's knocking on Belichick's door. And if he wins another ring, you know, I mean, come on. He's in rarefied company. Come on now. Makes no difference. He's got the rings now. That's all it takes. He got with the right situation. How's that overrated? They can. They can. They know about the salt, the flavor. They know about when they have a certain sauces and stuff. They don't. They take that serious. If you look up some Buffalo Bill, Buffalo, New York videos with wings and all, they'll take my word. Yeah, but the Eagles defense, they didn't connect. They went to one Super Bowl and they went to what 4 or 5 NFC Championship games. So I like Brian Westbrook. But there's no comparison. Andy Reid was in the Marty Schottenheimer, really the very good coach. Gets with Patrick Mahomes, now we're considering him one of the greatest coaches ever. All time great. That's the difference. He went from being really good to very good to an all time great. This is the difference. There's night and day. There's great, there's good, there's average. Okay. Andy Reid is great. He was really the very good. That's about right there. But great is like there. The good, the very good is right here. See how that's below? That's why I always tell you, and I'm consistent with it. There's tiers to this. I call Mahomes the magician. No, they complement each other. I know where you're going with this. You want to do this Belichick. They complement each other. And I'm going to tell you why. He's the magician. That man got magic hand. That man is like a magician. Um, I call him the bucket. When we think a KFC bucket, I look at him as the bucket. He's the bucket. Um, they complement one another because you got to have a coach that has the vision. He has to implement what he sees in your talent. Yeah, he's a magician. Andy Reid had all these philosophies and this offensive lingo when he had to have the right quarterback to implement it. That's why the two connect so well. Because if you don't have the vision and the concept, and y'all gotta be on the same page. So obviously, that's what makes it work. That's why they're dynamic coach and quarterback. Because they take on the persona. Just like Montana did with Bill Walsh, the strategicness, the strategic, how they would implement this move and that move. I think he's a great coach. I don't know about calling him a wizard, you know. But a great coach, yes. I don't know about calling him a wizard. Paul Brown would be considered a wizard. Bill Walsh would maybe considered a wizard. Don Shula, I don't quite go call wizard, but he's all time great coach. So I'd say that. Travis Kelsey is great. Yeah, they're great at what they've done individually, you know. And the defense is looking good the last couple years. But again, I don't know if he wins a three-peat, yeah, you can call him a wizard. Then yeah. To three-peat in the NFL, yeah, you're a wizard. You shut everybody up forever. They can't even talk about nothing without talking about you first. Because nobody did that. And the reason why it would be, no, I can't call him a wizard because he hasn't dominated let me put it to you like this. Don Shula had Earl Morrall, Bob Greasy, David Woodley, Dan Marino, all to the Super Bowl. Oh yeah. Yeah, he does that. I will definitely. Yeah. That will get him that. I wouldn't say it now, but if he three-peats, oh yeah. Because you gotta do something really distinctive to crack that code. See, I saw Coach Shula do it. Joe Gibbs, who doesn't get the same stature as Andy Reid because he had a great team in Washington, 3 different quarterbacks. Defensively, not offensively. Defensively, but not offensively. And that's why I don't hold him in the same regard. He never even took advantage of what he had with Brady. And mac and cheese, I almost made him look overrated too. Think about it. And he wasn't the same dude with Drew Bledsoe. So you gotta be careful when you put these titles behind guys, because some of these guys didn't really have it like that. They just having to stroll luck up with the right piece. It's all luck of the draw, though. I don't think he stopped it. How you stop it? The Colts beat them, won a Super Bowl. Stop it how? When was Peyton Manning's prime? They went 10 years without winning a ring. So where did they stop? Peyton Manning went to two Super Bowls with the Colts. Won one, lost one. Stop it how? Well, how did he stop? It's just that New England was a better team to an extent, but stop it how? They Yeah, and they should have beat them in that NFC championship, an AFC championship game too. They choked that. They were up by 18. But I don't know about stop. They to me they were more dominant. Brady got 7 rings, Peyton's got 2. But they really weren't in the same world. 10-4 as far as Super Bowl appearances. They never did. They never were well, they was statistically a threat, but they weren't a threat. I think we're saying the same thing, but in different ways. But I don't know how he stopped it. He held Peyton Manning in high regard. I think he thought of him as the best quarterback he went up against. I really believe that. Peyton Manning stopped Peyton Manning. Okay. The Colts didn't, when they won their Super Bowls or made appearances, because they stopped all that gimmicky. They went more power run with Edge James. They went more physical. When they went more. That mess that they didn't get them where they wanted to go. Despite the numbers by Marvin Harrison and Reggie Wayne, you know what they did? They weren't a juggernaut. They stopped their own selves. He would have bad postseasons. When they lost to Pittsburgh, they had nothing to do with Belichick. When they lost to New Orleans, it had nothing to do with Belichick. Well, Eli played out of his mind. That's what that was about. Eli played out of his natural cosmic mind. Eli was balling. But it was more about Tom Coughlin. Tom Coughlin, who you don't give no credit to, defense devised a great scheme. We're going to run 4 at Brady. We're going to go 4-5. We're going to play off. We're just going to blitz. That's what it was. And hit him in his mouth. Hit him in his teeth. That's what it was. You want to know, it was Tom Coughlin's defense, along with Eli being consistent and hitting some spots. Well, because you got all the success you had. Look at how they dominated. But, you know, there's nothing to be mad about. You still got 7. You still got more rings than they got put together. Yeah. Yeah, I know he does. I don't know. I think they used him in different situations. I think it was a Belichick. That was a strategy. They didn't want to overburn him out. I think that's what it was. And they savored him up for when they needed him. So that's how I look at it. Which was a smart move. Smart move. Yeah, because without those rings, Eli ain't got much going for him. That's a fact. Oh yeah, that's Jay Will's team. No one talks about Dallas. You can talk about him if you want to, but yeah. Uh, uh, we attack all right. Them and the Lakers gonna be real entertaining. The problem with the Cowboys is delusion. And you got 3 bad losses already. Bad. You got 2 lucky wins because you were lucky against Pittsburgh and you were lucky against the Giants. That game against Cleveland, was because of sorry quarterback for Cleveland, but you looked all right. But your 2 wins, you and they got to give up that white boy, the cat they got. That's what that was. Lean cuisine. He is lean cuisine. And what will that do for them exactly? What would that do? Really? He stat pads and he don't do nothing. But that's what they want. So more power to him. I'm not gonna talk about the exhibition game where you got beat by 60, because that is not even worth talking about. But JJ ridiculous. I hope he happy. That might actually happen in a real NBA game. That might actually happen. Um, that's what it's about, Ted. Jay Will, let me answer this. Embiid is better at his sport than Dak is, though. He's a league MVP. He would have been MVP this past year. But in his case, he hasn't had the right coach until Nick Nurse came. He got hurt last year, so let's see what plays out with Nick Nurse. Dak's problem, Dak peaked early, if you remember. Him and Ezekiel peaked early. So he's put up stats. He actually got off to a better start in his career than Embiid did. But Embiid didn't have the coach with the pedigree. Now you got a meathead in Dallas and you got a guy who can coach in Philly. And I think with Maxi and what they got, we're going to see. But they both are lame in the head, though. I'll give you that. Two big crybabies who always don't bring it and got whining. Dak just ain't cut out for the big picture. And Embiid, his legs buckle. Because McCarthy's got a ring, yo. And he coached and he wins 12 games the last 3 years. And he had Aaron Rodgers. And he always was a perennial big time winning in the regular season. You get that kind of hype, you got to deliver, or you look like a fluke. They need more than a running back. They need a lot more than a running back. Zeke wasn't it in New England. He got skinny, but Zeke ain't been the guy since his third year. Who are we kidding? We haven't talked about Ezekiel after 2018. Who are we kidding? They can't even. Pollard is a better running back in Tennessee than anything they got combined in Dallas now. Let that sink in. And they got rid of Tony Pollard. Come on now. They stink and they not going to do nothing. That's the problem. You can't run. You can't stop the run. You got 4 strikes against you. Your line sucks on both ends. There you go. What else I need to say? What do you got to keep talking about Dallas for? That's 4 strikes right there. And your coach gets out coached and he spends all this time looking at the scoreboard at home like, you in trouble. You in trouble. It's, you know, so they messed up big time. So. Okay, I'm gonna probably call it in a couple minutes. It's like an hour and 40. Call in a couple minutes. I'll definitely be back tomorrow. Probably come back a little bit early tomorrow too. So I'll send some notices out. I'll be out a little bit early tomorrow because I'm probably try to do a 2 or 3 hour tomorrow. But no, McCarthy ain't that good. You know this. You just in denial. You know he ain't that good. Everybody know he ain't that good. Meathead got set up to be SpongeBob. He got set up to be the Milli Vanilli for Jerry Jones. He cares. Oh, he cares. He ain't tolerating this losing. No, he cares. Because he knows he wants one more before he go. Okay? He ain't happy about this. He ain't signed. He wants to win. He wants to win his way and he can't do it no more. That's the problem. See? That's the problem. He wants to win. He just can't get the right pieces. And he trying to compartmentalize but being cheap in what he needs. That's the problem. I don't could care less what happens with them. They in for a long season. The only thing that's savoring their behind is we're not sure what the NFC East is really about. Other than that, we know that outside the NFC East, they're not beating nobody in the North. They're not a good team. That we can count on. But because the NFC East could be suspect, we'll see what Washington looks like. Just saying. So anyway, I'm gonna sign off right now. Appreciate everybody that came through questions tomorrow, and I will send it out 2 hours earlier tomorrow, probably. So look out for me tomorrow. And appreciate all the ones that took part on the poll. Stay safe, stay blessed, stay true, stay free, stay woke. And I got videos coming too. Coming. So check out my videos because I got some premieres coming too. Because I just gonna edit them up real quick. All right, catch you. I'm out. Peace.